just playing airplanes today, so I thought I would show or give you an update on what we've been doing around here. So we've got a steerable tail wheel rudder control, which is hooked on this Stearman PT13 frame through this rudder control idler arm right here. We're just updating it. The video didn't really show it. It looks like crap. So we'll be taking it apart at this point down here and just shining it up a little bit, cleaning up some of the fittings on it. And to turn it into, I'm just taking it off this frame here, this older frame or the damaged frame, and transferring all the fittings and stuff to this frame over here, which is, there's the other side that we've done. Sorry about the jerky motion there. There's a completed side. We've got the safety cable, we've got it safety wired, everything cleaned up, keyed back in, and it should be good to go, ready for the rigging. There's some of the other hardware that's been done. Gust control lock. There's a manual from Duster Sprayers we've been looking at, and then comparing it to the manuals from the original manuals and drawings. So we have the fuel shutoff, which is real easy, the mixture control over here, mounting and control. I've got a lot of tools just laying around to help in this. Here's the gust lock, or this little devil, of course the rudder pedals, support, starboard side, linkage on them. The master cylinders, which is previously pointed out right here, it's got some damage on the stickers on it. The master cylinder's good, it's just, I don't know if it's got .5 ate up the stickers. They should look like this one on the starboard side. I've contacted a company to see if they'll do it. Send me some, I'm not sure. The blue tape is where I've nicked up the paint just a little bit. Not sure if you can see that, but just trying to clean some of that up. And there's the frame, so we'll just keep working on it. There's a turtleneck. Up there are the stringers that will come down that were damaged, and we'll do a little bit of repair on them and then get them back on this frame, and then it should be ready for some canvas covering. And I'm not sure if you can see that on the video, but right there, that bent one, right there, there's some damage in there. So we'll take that out, see if we can rivet it up. On the back side of those three longitude stringers is an upper wing, which when covered will look like that. So those are the two upper wings, rudder, center section. There is the horizontal stabilizer, vertical, I think it's over there on the floor. Not sure. There's a damaged wing that we'll have to get into. And we got a couple hardware, a couple other wings that I can make those repairs too. There's some hardware from that little project, which is going to be a coffee table, which was the engine off of that frame. The engine that we'll be using is over there under a tarp. So yeah, let's just give you an update what we've been on. What happened to, the reason why I'm going through all this is we broke these tabs right there. And I'm not sure if they got too hot from this welding repairs, and that cast became brittle, and when it was subjected to a little pressure, it cracked. Anyway, this frame, the gear broke, and it endured a ground loop and broke the cabane mounting struts and bad things happen. They should look like this. And this is stock, so these welds are not really built up. So this one may have been, see where this weld right here is extra, been repaired. So, and that may have been too much heat, or this frame could have been in a fire at one point, and which would have made this cast fitting here brittle. Instead of just bending, it snapped, and when that happened, a lot of bad stuff happened to this. Those pieces messed up the wing and stuff like that. So what I'm doing now is just, as I take these pieces off of this frame and transfer them to this other one, and just clean them up. So that's what I'll be doing here. Also, there was so this is a control component for the rudder, but it has a little bit of damage right down there, where that stainless steel safety loop, which should look like that in case the spring breaks, has the safety loop has acted like a saw. If you can tell right there, it's just rubbed into it. It took about 25% of the material off, so this will have to be replaced. But when I reinstall this with the repair piece, what I'm going to do, and I'll show you what I did to this other one over here, is I'm going to safety wire that up where that spring can't come loose. And sorry about the jerky video here. Focus, focus. See where this piece is round and it's okay right there. That'll keep, that safety wire right there will keep this safety cable from getting up into this cast piece, acting like a saw and breaking it. Because when that happens, if it saws it in two or saws it enough where the pressure will happen, then when it is under duress or whenever it's actually being used, then you're subject to this happening right here, which is that piece. And as you can tell, this had already been broken. So it had been weakened by that safety chain right there. So the safety chain weakened it and it broke, therefore losing rudder control. And that didn't cause the ground loop, but it certainly didn't help. And it was just an unfortunate thing. So that's what I'll be doing. Today, I'm just trying to straighten up some of this hardware. There's some of it that's been cleaned up. That's the rudder control cable off the rudder control assembly. There's a turnbuckle that we removed and polished up. The stainless cable going back to the intermediate arm, which will go back to the rudder itself. And then this is for the steerable tail wheel. So we'll be taking that off and taking it to a buffer, some of the fittings, and finish cleaning up that. Once we move on from that, then we're going to, actually I'll be moving on to doing the throttle quadrants, which is the mixture and the throttle. I have to change that one out and make it look like that one. I have another one of these I'll rebuild. So I'll do the throttle quadrants, which gives it this accelerator pedal, and there's the mixture. And they go through the firewall, through the bell cranks up front, and it's engine controls. So we'll be trying to take that off, clean that up. And then after that is the, right here, a trash bag hanging on it, but right there's the throttle quadrant. as it comes through the firewall, bell cranks and the engine control, so then it'll go from here, yes, from here out to the carburetor, and that's how it works. This one over here is the carb heat, which is that control right there. And that rod will go through the firewall. This is kind of a mess on this video trying to show it all to you. But as it comes through the firewall, it will control this bell crank right here, which will actuate that rod and controls. That's just part of the engine controls there. So once you get through throttle quadrant, which is mixture, throttle, and carb heat, then it'll be moving on to these two brackets, which is the trim, and that cabling and control cables and the bracketry associated with it on the frame, which it goes up to right here. Can't really see it. It goes up to right here. And those are phenolic pulleys. And then it goes back to here, the rudder transmission, and then it'll go to back to the rudder and control the trim on the elevator. I'm sorry, not the rudder, but the elevator on the horizontal surfaces right up there, and the trim are those two little tabs right there. So as you work this lever right here, then that pulls these cables down through there, back there where we just discussed, and it will control those two tabs, which is in your flight stabilization. So after you get through that, remove this panel and then get into the electrical. And this is for a priming system from inside the cockpit. So just remove these lines. That control is a pitot-static system here. Or no, this is oil pressure, I'm sorry. This is pitot-static system right here. Those have to get transferred, and then the firewall, clean this up, and should be done with this frame then. And I can stand this bad boy up and maybe take the back half and put together with a front good half, which I know where one's at, and then we'll have a good frame again. So we'll see what happens. This video is up to, it's a little over 10 minutes, so yeah, got a lot going on here. Actually, there's the frame in the front of that coffee table motor right there. Here's the landing gear, rebuilt landing gear that's going on the airframe project. I know it's been a while since I posted something, so the place is kind of filled up. We've got into the Model A truck project. Have did some mocking up. There I've got my flathead V8. Maybe going electric with this thing, but I'm gonna run this V8 for a little while. It's kind of dark in here. This project's got kind of put on the side. Did pick up some 35, 36 wheels for it. Although I do have some, they're not Hayes, they're the modern manufacturer of those wheels. I can't remember. But there's the Model A, got a door panel go on both sides. Did put the patch panel in, made some coverings, or actually patches right there that was rotted out. And some lower lower cab patches, corner cab patches. Have the firewall out to reverse it to gain length right here for the V8 motor right there, which is longer than a 4-cylinder, so that way I don't have to change the radiator mount right there, which would change the hood, and you get into a lot of other stuff. So just turn the firewall around, it's old school stuff, and it'll be more like a 32 recessed back, or 33, 32 actually just recessed back, gain about 4